If wickedness had a face beat, Mrs. Ezugo's own would trend on TikTok. My buddies, listen to this one till the very end. You're gonna love it. Well, let me not get ahead of myself. Let's rewind back. Some time ago, in Golden Light College, which stood at the quiet end of Ekwen, the signboard read, "Discipline is success." And truly, they meant discipline with cane and not character. At 7:45 a.m. sharp, peace would resign. Then, from a distance, you would hear that notorious sound of her heels. Coin, 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 as if Judgment Day had high heels. Everybody, straighten up, oh. She's coming. Hide your biscuits, fix your tie, tuck in your shirt before she tucks in your life. Then she would appear. Mrs. Ezugo, Vice Principal, aka Madam Discipline, Minister of Correction, and full-time motivational flogger. Her look alone deserves its own timetable. She always wore body hug gowns, and today her blood-red gown hugged her like an apology. Her heels were so sharp they could be used to pin the devil down. Then she always wore a wig that looked like it was borrowed from a mop stick that saw vision. It was short, curly, and confused. It bounced left when she turned right. Some said the wig was human hair. Others swore it was half human, half spirit. Her eyelashes hey, they were like two black ceiling fans, ready to take flight. Whenever she blinked, the front row students held their exercise books tighter for wind protection. And those nails, oh my God, long and rainbow colored, shiny like oily plantain chips. If she pointed at you, you wouldn't know whether to answer or to cover your eyes from danger first. Each nail had its own color, its own attitude, and its own destiny. Her face was a battlefield of powder and sweat. By 9 a.m. in the morning, her foundation would already be melting like she wrestled with angels. But she would lift her chin proudly and shout, "If your mother cannot train you, I will flog sense into your generation. If your parents cannot correct you, I will correct their error." And she meant it though, because in her hands lived two mighty canes, which she named. The first one, Mercy. He was slim, black, and always whistling softly. And the second one, Judgment, was fat, brown, and built like anointing oil bottle. She swung the both of them like national flags. Latecomers, 10 strokes. Untidy uniform, 5. Talking during assembly, 1 hot slap with small knock on the head as bonus. One day, one boy sneezed while she was praying, and she paused and said, "Even demons sneeze when I'm binding them. Kneel down there." Parents wrote letters, and PTA meetings turned into revival service. But Mrs. Ezugo was untouchable because she was the Minister of Education's cousin and was the self-crowned molder of destiny. Every Monday became a festival of pain called Correction Parade. Students lined up like prisoners. Some carried fake doctor's reports that read allergic to cane. Others hid behind flower pots, whispering prayers to any god that was still on duty. Whenever she lifted mercy and judgment, the whole school held its breath. "Pain brings progress," she would declare. Inside the students' hearts, however, they prayed a secret prayer each morning. "Lord, deliver us from Madam Ezugo and her children, mercy and judgment." By Wednesday morning, the sun had already lost its manners. It was shining like it had personal beef with Golden Light College. Sweat flowed freely. Even the chalk on the board was starting to melt small small. But as usual, Mrs. Ezugo was in full spirit. She came in a tight green gown today, the type that could suffocate spirits and demons. And her wig had grown louder overnight. It was still curly, heavy, and confused like a mop that refused to retire. Her heels clapped against the corridor like war drums. Each step screamed, "Mercy and judgment are reporting for duty." By 7:30 a.m. that day, the entire assembly ground looked like a refugee camp. Lines of trembling students fanned themselves with exercise books, reciting silent prayers like, "Father Lord, don't let her notice me. Spirit of lateness, I cast you out permanently." Then, just as the National Assembly was about to end, small Emmanuel came running through the gate. A JSS2 boy with thin legs, wearing an oversized shirt, like a borrowed destiny. He was breathing heavy, clutching his inhaler. The security man tried to cover for him, saying, "Madam, he gets asthma." But before the poor man could finish, Mrs. Ezugo's lashes blinked twice, like police siren. "So you have turned the school gates to red carpet, Abby?" "Sorry, ma. Shut up there! Keep your sorry. Kneel down!" The boy obeyed. She walked towards him, raising Mercy. One "pa" landed on the boy's back. Then "pa pa," 2 strokes. By the third one, Emmanuel's small back was already dancing azonto involuntarily. He tried to talk. "Ma, please, my chest." But she wasn't hearing English that morning. Instead, she switched to judgment. The fatter came and continued like a generator without choke. Students looked horrified, too scared to even breathe. One girl in the second line whispered, "If wickedness was a subject, this woman will be a professor in it. Sophia Akwa." Her luck was that Madame Ezugo didn't hear her. She would have met her doom. Anyway, by the 7th stroke, Emmanuel's voice faded. He wasn't talking anymore. And then, he dropped flat. The whole school gasped. Even the birds on the mango tree stopped gossiping. But Madame Ezugo only rolled her eyes and he's pretending. Lazy bones. Tomorrow he will still come late again. Nonsense. The security man ran forward, shouting, "Madam, you know they move again, oh." Teachers rushed in. One tore Emmanuel's shirt open, another fanned him with assembly sheets. Someone shouted, "Bring his inhaler, bring it!" And that was when, for the first time, Madame Ezugo took one nervous step back. Her lashes trembled slightly, but not from wind this time, but from confusion. After long minutes that felt like years, the boy finally gasped faintly. They lifted him up immediately and hurriedly took him to the sick bay. Meanwhile, Mrs. Ezugo's canes dangled in her hands, suddenly keeping quiet. Assembly was dismissed very early that day, but whispers had already started flying faster than WAEC Expo. By break time, every corner of Golden Light College was buzzing with gists. "She flogged him till he fainted." "What?" Yes, so they said the boy did not breathe again for more than 5 minutes. Hey! And she didn't even say a word though. She didn't say sorry. She just said, "Lazy bones." That incident was the gist in every corner of the school. The kitchen aunties discussed it while frying puff-puff. The JS3 boys reenacted the scene behind the toilet block, complete with fake canes though. Even the principal heard the gist before lunch. She had been warning Mrs. Ezugo non-stop to go easy on the students, as cane was not the only form of discipline there is, and that she might get into trouble one day. But Madame Ezugo was what we call Eze Onyagwanam, a king that doesn't listen to advice. That night, in the dormitories, the rebellion began. It was a secret and it was heavy. Somebody whispered from a bunk, "Tomorrow, if she raised that cane again, we will raise our hands together. Enough is enough," another replied. Then came Friday. Friday morning came quietly, the kind of quietness that only happens when heaven is planning drama. But not Mrs. Ezugo. No, 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 no. That one arrived with fresh wickedness in her bones. Her gown was yellow today, tight enough to hold grudges. Her perfume was loud enough to announce eviction, and her lashes long and black, flapping like angry butterflies. In her hands, mercy and judgment danced happily, the two canes that had built her reputation and destroyed countless spines. As she stormed towards JSS2B, her heels screamed coin, coin as usual on the tiles like marching soldiers. Her eyes were already boiling with revenge because somehow she managed to hear the words on the street. "Wait, so you children want to form gang against me, Abi? Mwah, no problem. Today, I will show them why my name carries power." Next, she busted through the door like a storm. "Everybody, stand up!" she barked. "Where is that Emmanuel's gang? You think you can disgrace me and go free, Abi?" The students stood up. Everybody's heart was pounding. Dudum, dudum. "Answer me when I'm talking." Still silence. Nobody said a word. She raised Mercy, her black cane, and took one step forward, ready to start striking left, right, and center. But before he could land, Chidera stood up and said firmly, "No more flogging, ma." "Eh? Say it again." Mrs. Ezugo's eyes widened in shock. Halima, another student, went and stood beside him. "We said no more flogging, ma." Then Okoro, Bimpe, and the whole class joined. Chairs moved and feet shifted. It was the sound of courageous little legs. Mrs. Ezugo laughed sarcastically first because she couldn't believe her eyes. "Are you people mad, ni? In fact, all of you will taste double today. Kneel down." She swung Mercy with full force, but Halima quickly caught it in the air. "Eh? Hey, these children are trying me today." Mrs. Ezugo's eyes bulged out. Her lashes fluttered violently like panicked umbrellas during Harmattan. "Are you mad?" she screamed again, yanking at the cane. "Let go before I massacre you people." But then the door clicked shut behind her almost immediately. Someone had locked it. Madam Wiper Lashes could not believe her eyes. The students took the canes from her and began to baptize her. "Ah!" One stroke on her arm. "Ah!" Another one on her back. She screamed, "Jesus! Jesus! Hey! You're killing me, oh!" But the students had entered full deliverance mode. "For Emmanuel," Chidera shouted. "Yes, for almost killing one of us," another shouted. "For our backs," Halima yelled. "For every Monday parade," Okoro added. "Bah, bah, Towai, bah." Some were throwing slippers and shoes and pens and pencils, and the beautiful sound of poetic justice filled the air. "Come and see the high and mighty queen now. Hey, her wig, yes, that black curly mop that looked like it once cleaned a church hall, flew across the class and landed neatly on the teacher's table, as if saying, 'I resign, oh.' She tried to grab it, but Halima's cane blocked her. No wig retrieval during flogging hours. By the fifth stroke, her gown had shifted to one side. Her eyelashes had given up hope. hanging halfway like broken window blinds, and her red lipstick had traveled north, south, east, and west. Jesus! Somebody help me! Somebody help me! She wailed. Ah, help, ke. No be you talk say pain brings progress, eh? Madam, progress is progressing, oh, one boy shouted from the corner. Everybody laughed. Ah, the class was vibrating. Lockers shook. Chalk jumped off the board, and even the portrait of the governor looked a bit impressed. The students surrounded her. Chidera raised the cane and said, "We are not done with you. Oh. You made us parade before the whole school every Monday. Now it's your turn. Oya, Halele, move." They opened the door and dragged her outside, barefoot, wigless, and her dignity missing in action. They marched her around the quadrangle like morning devotion, chanting loud enough for heaven to hear. 1, 2, mercy, judgment. 1, 2, mercy, judgment. Students from other classes ran out to watch. Some clapped, some sang, some recorded with their small phones, while others joined the parade. By the time the principal, Mrs. Ajayi, arrived, the chants had turned into thunder, and there stood Mrs. Ezuko. Her heels were gone, lashes were missing, and her face was shiny with tears and sweat, and her once feared canes were lying broken beside her. Funny thing is that other teachers didn't even dare to interfere because the students were out in their numbers. And if you dared to stop them, then go beat you join body. It was when the principal arrived with a group of policemen. That was when all the students fled. By afternoon, the staff room was noisy like a marketplace. Every teacher pretended to be marking scripts, but their ears were facing one direction, Mrs. Ezugo. She was brought into the staff room and she slumped on the edge of the wooden chair. Her yellow gown was rumpled, one sleeve was begging for mercy, and her once sharp nails now looked like small broken rulers. Even her heels had lost confidence. One lay under the desk like he was hiding from shame. The almighty vice principal, aka Mrs. Discipline, who used to terrorize everyone, now looked like an abandoned mannequin after clearance sales. Then the door opened and Principal Mrs. Ajayi walked in calmly, full of confidence and firmness. She removed her glasses, cleaned them slowly, and said in that dangerously soft tone, "Mrs. Ezugo, I warned you about these parades. You turned discipline into entertainment for your own selfish ego." Mrs. Ezugo tried to raise her chin, but she was so embarrassed. Then she said in a trembling voice, They embarrassed me, ma." "No, Ezugo, you embarrassed yourself. You planted fear where knowledge should grow. You used cane instead of compassion. Oh, you overused those your two little canes. And now, even your wig has resigned from duty." The staff room laughed under their breath, and someone even coughed to hide laughter. But Mrs. Ajayi continued, "You are hereby suspended indefinitely, pending further notice." Mrs. Ezugo rose shakily, picked up what was left of her pride, and left the room holding her shoes in her hand. And that was the last time anyone heard the sound of coin hails in that corridor. By noon, the bell rang, and the principal, Mrs. Ajayi, gave the police order to assemble all the students to the assembly ground. When they all gathered, she called the culprit class to stand apart. They were quiet, but they were beaming with soft smiles because All the other students were hailing them. Mrs. Ajayi climbed the small wooden stage and addressed her students. Students of Golden Light College, what happened this morning is nothing to be proud of. Yes, no matter how wrong an adult behaves, violence is never the right answer. You cannot take laws into your own hands because anger whispered to you. Yes, Mrs. Ezugo was very wrong. But you, all of you in JSS 2B, disgraced this school with your behavior. What you did today could have ended in blood, but thank goodness it didn't. I hope you all know that we are not raising thugs, oh. We are raising leaders. Then she removed her glasses and looked directly at them and continued firmly. You all will serve 2 weeks suspension, and when you return, you will repaint the assembly walls you dirtied with your little riot. Discipline must never lose its balance. Is that understood? The students began to murmur. Tears started welling up in some people's eyes, and some others chorused, "Yes, ma." But deep down, everyone knew the truth. The students might have been punished, yet history would remember them as the ones who broke fear in school. Later on in her office, the principal reclined in her chair, relaxed. Then she dialed her husband while sipping her zobo. "My dear, you won't believe what happened today, oh. Let me even gist you. That woman finally met her macho. Eh? Can you believe that JSS2 children flogged her wig into early retirement? They flogged her blue and black. Her husband laughed on the other end. That's so brave, oh. But wait, oh, you suspended them, right? She smiled mischievously. Of course I did. Rules are rules. But between me and you, I'm proud of those children. For once, somebody stood up to fear. If not, she would have turned the whole school into prison yard. They both laughed. Then she ended the call, looked at the glass cabinet beside her desk where she put the 2 broken canes and labeled them Mercy and Judgment, retired by justice. She smiled and said, "May they rest in peace and never resurrect again." The end. Moral lesson. Standing for what is right is good, but do it with wisdom and do it the right way. Also, do not take advantage of people, whether young or old, because you are in authority. No, treat everyone with respect and discipline children with compassion. I hope that makes sense. Well, my paddies, that's it for today. We've come to the end of today's video and I hope you were entertained. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and also share this video with all your friends and your enemies. Okay? I keep saying friends and enemies because everyone deserves a good laugh. What are your thoughts about this story? Remember to put them down in the description box below. And if you're here to subscribe, now is the sweet spot. Just do it now. Just click it. Click it now. Thank you so much. I promise you're going to love it here. And until I bring another video your way, remember, don't let anyone dim your shine, no matter the authority they are in. Don't let them. Okay? I'll see you soon. Ngwanu. Bye.